He is a restaurateur that you admire. He loves his work and is very dedicated. He is not only one of the best hosts in the industry, he is a superb chef. Without question, Ara Kalfayan has made Phoenicia one of the best ethnic restaurants in Southern California. Authentic Eastern Mediterranean and Lebanese cuisine has always been Ara's hallmark. Ara believes that atmosphere is key to satisfying diners. Impeccable service has always been his main goal. He was recognized by the Southern California Restaurant Writers Association as Owner Entrepreneur of the Year and received a medal for the Distinction Award. The list goes on and on. Ara, it is often said that cooking is an art form. When did you first discover you had a passion for the culinary arts?
I had the passion when I was probably 7, 8 years old. One morning, Sunday morning, I woke up and I went to the dining room and I started setting up for breakfast for my family and my sisters, brother and so on. And they liked it, they encouraged me, and that's how I started. And then, we came to the United States, start going to college and start working here and there. And then I got into restaurant business, waiting on tables in San Francisco while I'm going to college. And that's how it started, and I pursued it, and I got my own business. I have taken courses in the culinary schools here and there, and I have improved myself. So
it's really interesting. So the love was there from the beginning.
Right, there was a love, but you have to develop the love and work on it, just like any relationship.
And today we're cooking something very unique. Can you just give us...
For me, with my experience over the years, cooking is very important to create something from nothing, something not expensive, something that you think it's not you serve it to your guests, it's not going to be that much valuable. But if you creative and you show them what you're doing, and it will be more interesting and more tasty, and you will put your love and heart in it.
Yeah, I'm sure you believe that putting your heart and soul into your food is really important.
That's right. So this dish, we had this in our menu when we started the restaurant, and it drove a lot of attention from the food critics. It was a different ballgame at that time than it is now, than people coming and evaluating restaurants, but they're not professionals. At that time, there were only people that they're right about, they have columns in the major newspapers. They all used to come in Il Carnito and eat, and then write good or bad things about
reviews.
Reviews, and it was, the negative things were accepted, so you can improve yourself, and that's how we continued. Unfortunately, now it's a different ball game. As I said, people write on Yelp, but you don't know who they are and so on, and how much, what their motive is when they're writing. It's different.
The times have changed.
Sure. I picked up today a nice chicken, about 2-3 pounds, not more than that, and I'm going to stuff it with different herbs, onion, garlic, whole peppers, salt, pepper, and we're going to go on as we go.
And this is from French cuisine?
This is more like continental cuisine.
Continental, okay.
Okay. So let me start by putting salt and pepper. And this is the black pepper. And you can do the same little bit from inside also, under the skin. And I'm going to stuff it with bay leaves. just a few of the garlic.
And some
Celery pieces. Onions. Okay. And the herbs. And I have oregano and thyme. They're from the same family. They give a little bit different taste.
And you're very generous when you're putting the herbs.
In a few minutes, you're going to see how we're going to embed it in a clay. And I want all the taste and the aroma to stay inside. And here, I'm going to go also under the skin. And then don't forget butter as much as you can to limit, to give a good taste to it. And going to get those under the wing.
So you believe, like Julia Child believed, that butter makes a difference?
Of course, yes. That's
in the taste.
So you want it to be moist. You don't want it to be dry. And it's going to cook because for a long time as we go on. Now, my first step is to wrap it in parchment paper. We're trying to protect it from the clay as much as possible. And also I'm going to wrap it in aluminum foil.
Aluminum foil.
We're going to shape it as much as we can. This will be the neck here.
So you're securing as much as possible. So
I'm securing and giving a shape of chicken, I hope it starts looking like.
It's more like a swan.
Okay, make it chicken. Anyway, the idea is...
Right.
Now we secured it, so the clay is not going to touch the skin. And I'm going to start bringing the clay we can...
Okay, cool.
When you talk about people that have an impact in the city of Glendale, you can't start a list without including the famous Ara Kalfayan. He is a wonderful guy, and everyone that meets him says the same thing. Of course, he's the tall, Ara Keretzig, Ara, the handsome, as they say in Armenian. He is a dedicated person to make the whole community better. He has volunteered for the YMCA and been on the board for decades. I, as a city councilman, saw his talent early on and have appointed him to our Parks and Recreation Commission because he cares so deeply about the children, about the adults, and about the elderly. He gives of himself all day long. He's such a sweet guy. Everyone, as I said, that meets him loves him. And of course, he has his restaurants, and he's been a restaurateur in the city for decades as well, with Kicks and Mandaloon and Phoenicia. And Phoenicia is really his court. The way a king has his court, that is the court for Ara. He greets everyone when you come in with a smile, with a pat on the back, with a hug and a kiss. He's got great food, and he really makes you feel like he's at home. And let me tell you, if you want to know what's going on in Glendale, you have to come to Phoenicia. This is where the deals get made. This is where the visitors from around the world come and their first stop to Glendale. This is where the visitors from Armenia and the consular officers across the street come to eat, and sometimes just the everyday person who wants to relax and try a hookah and the wonderful Middle Eastern food. It's a wonderful place. Ara Kalfayan is an institution in the city of Glendale. I'm so glad that he's with us. I wish we had a few more. He's such a great guy. So if you haven't known Ara, please come to Phoenicia, Meet Ara, and I guarantee you, you won't forget him. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy.
Ara, before we go on, can you please elaborate on your success as a restaurateur and a businessman?
Arsho, thank you for making me a successful person.
Well, you are. I have the facts.
I am humbled
You're very
by your
modest.
comment. You know, any business or anyone, it's a hard working. If you're consistent with your work and you love it, and you work 7 days or 8 days instead of 7,
Like you always
or 26 hours a
everybody.
day, you succeed. I always compare it with when we go to school, how much you study, where you get.
True.
I mean, there is talent, of course, in there, but studying and
Hard work pays off.
it does. So that's how you get to be successful. And then, of course, the community helps you. People like you will help you. Promotions will help us, and
It's a teamwork.
it's a teamwork. Yeah,
Kind
it's-
of, yeah.
Yeah, it's very teamwork. Yeah, even at our staff, if they don't work together, we don't get anywhere. It's a teamwork. I compare it with basketball, since I was a basketball player.
You were, right? I didn't know.
Yes.
I found out recently. Okay, that's why you were told.
Yes.
Okay, so the next step is we're, putting the chicken into clay?
Right, covering with
Covering
clay.
it, okay.
So we got the clay, and we opened it up.
Yeah, and evened it up,
Evened
yeah.
it up, so we can. How do you want it to? Here you go. You know, I'm not a sculptor, very good in sculpting, I guess, but try it.
Well, I think
see.
you're doing such a great job at it.
Let's see. So we kind of secured everything. You know, we want nothing to go out. You want all the flavors
To stay in.
to be inside and to stay there.
And of course, you find this clay in a specialized.
It's called artist clay.
Artist
you know,
clay, okay. So it's not just any clay, you know.
So it molds easier, you know. Okay.
It's more like art and crafts right now.
I know. So, you know, you can always play around, put
True.
some
No, you're doing such a
wings
great
and
job.
so on.
You know.
And I want to put eyes to the
Olives.
olives, yeah. And just. Okay, this is the idea. Now this is ready to go in the oven.
Okay.
Usually I cook it about 3.5, 4 hours. Depends how strong is your, you know, our home cooking. I mean, ovens are a little bit different than the commercial ones. But, you know, don't be scared of cooking it.
You can never overcook a chicken
Right.
anyway. Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
It's not going to burn. It's just
So it goes into the oven
Oven.
for approximately.
at 350 for approximately 3.5, 4 hours.
Got it.
To say that I've known Ara for many years is an understatement. I've known Ara since, you know, the first restaurants he opened here in Glendale. It was Kicks, now it's Phoenicia. In between that, there was a few other ventures, and he's always built upon his success. He's always expanded. Right now, Phoenicia is a place that brings a whole community together for all sorts of celebrations and events and fundraisers. And that's, I think, speaks to who Ara Kalfayan is. Ara is someone who gives back to the community. He's not just a successful businessman. He doesn't just serve great food and unique dishes that connect people to their roots back in Lebanon, but he's also someone who actively participates on the YMCA board. I've served with him on the YMCA board. He is someone who actively gives back to the community in terms of his service on the Parks and Recreation Commission. He's someone that, as I said earlier, just opens up Phoenicia to all sorts of fundraisers for all sorts of causes, whether it's what's facing people in Lebanon, what's happening in Artsakh. He is one of the most proud Armenians and one of the most wonderful people that Glendale has living and working in our city.
Ara, what are some common themes of Armenian and Lebanese cuisine?
Both cuisines comes from Middle East over the years, if we know the history, and we have adapted a lot of different things from Middle East. We do have Armenian special dishes like the harissa and other things, but they still been taken from different cultures. But we have done our own seasoning, our own version of it. And Lebanon is very rich country in hospitality. They put a table for 30, 40 different types of appetizers, and it's a very customary that you have that on the table, and then the main course and so on. It's not like the European cuisine where you have soup or salad, main course, dessert, that's it. It's very rich. And I started going back to Lebanon after I finished my studies, and I got into it, and I was happy that see how things go on, and I was able to adapt from continental or French cuisine to Lebanese cuisine. So
you prefer the fusion of French, continental, Lebanese, Armenian?
I like fusion. I like creativity, but in the business, you cannot be too creative. You have to adapt to the customers that you have. Whatever the demand is, that's what you have to do. You cannot be too creative.
Well, you've done such a great job because, every time we pass by your restaurant, there's not an empty seat.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. It's hardworking. As I said before, it pays off. Plus the community, it's a nice community. We know each other, they know us, we know them. It's a different relationship.
Yeah. Just to remember the day we met the amazing Ara Kalfayan, I'll never forget. It was just so beautiful to see this gentleman being so personable, walking into that restaurant when we sat to eat and immediately connecting and realizing that we were from Lebanon, our birthplace, but also the way he approached the actual food and his hospitality. My husband and I immediately connected, and we started coming regularly and becoming wonderful friends. And before we know it, we realized how much he was connected to the Lebanese community. And being a part of the Los Angeles, Beirut sister cities, I'm a founding member of that organization that was formed in 2006, and we wanted to build these bridges of understanding, of educational, cultural, and business connections between the people to people. That was Eisenhower's intent when he created it. The first person I thought about when I was looking for members to join was Ara Kalfayan. And he responded with such warmth because his heart is also to give back and to invest in the youth, in the Lebanese, to keep the cultures alive. As we live in this amazing nation, the United States, California, Los Angeles, which is actually a wonderful salad bowl. We all keep our identity, but we are connected because of the culture. Well, being in the industry of hospitality, Ara was so much interested in being a part of it. And we could see immediately, as a member of this organization, he has given so much of his time, of his resources, of his connections, to really prove that we are a team that will make a difference and invest in the future of the youth, of university students. We've brought these students here, and he was leading the way by hosting them, caring for them. We as a board are really eager to show that our desire is to make a difference and give hope to the youth, and especially the ones that are in Lebanon. Connect them with the youth of Los Angeles, give them a chance to realize that it really will be special when we never forget where we came from, our birthplace, and connect with the land that has adopted us. And that sister city is certainly what we work together. But Ara is a special friend. He's a close friend. We call each other brother and sister, but we are not from the same family. Yet we really feel that being friends and making a difference in the way we have done things will last and will leave a legacy.
Now we're in process of preparing the sauce to top it on the chicken once we crack it. So I start melting some sweet butter and then chopped shallots. Okay, and then I have sliced mushrooms.
We're kind of sautéing it.
Yeah, sautéing it. It has to absorb the butter. That's awesome. Now adding some beef stock.
The beef stock you can get
Yeah, you can beef stock ready.
or you can make your own.
Melt, yeah. Final touch will be either some whipping cream or half and half to mellow it down to the taste and the color. Okay, Arsho, we're going to take it off. It's been about 3.5 hours. Hopefully it's cooked well. Let me take it out.
Ara, now that it's cooked, what is the next step?
Next step, I have to crack this and then carve it and then put the sauce on it.
The mushroom sauce?
And then put it on the plate.
And serve.
Serve it. At one time when I had more time and I graduated and I had the restaurant, I went to Napa Valley once I moved to Southern California. Once 1 or 2 weeks crash courses in Napa Valley, and also taken some courses in UC Davis. But one time I took one of my friends, he had the interest to go with me, one of the classes, and he was enjoying it. And the instructors start asking each person why you're here, what interest do you have. And I started worrying about him because his English wasn't that great. I was thinking how I can help him. His turn came in and he said very easily and comfortably, he said, I was drinking wine when I was a young man. My grandmother used to give me sweet wines. And that's how I grew up, and I had that wine in love with me. So I love these wines and I continued to drink it. So that was really fun part of it, I never forget. So this is how crack it. You've seen everything already, how we wrap it in the foil.
And the parchment paper?
Parchment paper, and it seems like it was cooked very well. See how nice the butter has given a good color and
Looks very delicious.
thank you. And see all
I like the
juice,
steam. The steam is
steam is still there.
It's still there, yeah.
So if you have to do this to impress one of your guests, special guests that you improve, you can cook it, and after 3.5 hours, it will stay hot, as we see.
Because the clay keeps it warm.
Keeps it warm. Everything is inside. It's locked. All the spices and the aroma is in there.
That's
So-
very impressive. It looks good and it's different.
So what we can is the back. This part I have done it. So this be one portion. So we
That's the second portion, okay.
We can cook it with the sauce a little bit if you want,
Or just add the sauce on
or
top.
on the top.
What's your preference?
So it's just, we have cognac in there.
So it's better to cook it because we have cognac in the sauce.
That's one way of looking at it. The other way is when you cook it together, the chicken will absorb more of the flavors of the
Flavors.
mushroom and so on.
Okay, let's
Okay.
do it.
So let's put it back here and cook it for a few minutes.
Is it okay if we add a little more of
It's a
cognac?
nice show. I like that. Here we go.
The more the merrier.
Except it's too wet now. Most of my wines, I like to buy them when they're not in that all over the market. They're more allocated wines. And they're smaller wineries, they're boutique wineries. I like to keep them and have a nice collection of them and make it available to my guests. But it comes to a point that we're a Lebanese restaurant, our liquor sales are much better than the wine. So what I do now, I buy the allocated wines, the wines that I think they're going to have a big value in the near future. That's all I buy for my collection. So it's part of my love and joy.
I remember the first time I met Ara was when he had Mandaloon restaurant, and I came in for a dinner, and we met the first time. We start talking about where he's from, where I'm from in Lebanon, and then I found out that he's on the board of the Glendale YMCA. At that time, I was a VP at a different YMCA. We got into talking, and I sensed the passion and how much he cares about the youth in Glendale and how much he believes in the benefit of exercise. And when I became the CEO at this YMCA, our relationship became stronger because he became my board chair, our board chair, and we've done so many remarkable things together, including the project ACE 121 for low-income housing and the renovation of the facility. I found out Ara to be a trustworthy individual, and you can take his words to the bank. When he says he will do something, you know he will. Very honest, genuine, and caring individual. We love you, Ara.
Ara, once again, you have proven today that cooking with heart and soul is important for you.
Dear Arsu, for me, it never stops my passion. I want to keep going on, continue to fulfill my dreams. One of them is to enlarge my business and improve it as much as possible. More I know about my business, more I know I don't know enough. So that's where I am. I'm trying to learn everything, discover more things, and give more to the community.
And you're doing such a great job at it. More power to you. And we're looking forward to getting together again. And we want you to surprise us one more time.
Anytime. It will be my pleasure. It's really this part of what we did today. It was a dream. For a long time, I haven't done this thing, but it was a challenge and I did it.
Food is the ingredient that binds us together. It connects us, it makes us human, and it's the great equalizer when it comes to all of our differences. Cooking is all about people, and breaking bread is a symbol of joy.
For advertising on Inside TV, please call 818-653-0199.